Well, let's talk more about that scholar transport crash, this time in KwaZulu-Natal. Bring in Ndebezinhle Sibiya, spokesperson for the KwaZulu-Natal Transport Department. Good to have you on SABC News tonight, Mr. Sibiya. Any news that you can give us regarding the condition of the 9 children who were injured this afternoon?
No, thank you very much. Yeah, it is a very sad day. The MEC for Transport and Human Settlement, Sponsor Duma, he immediately requested his office as well as a highly efficient team from Road Traffic Inspectorate, to visit the scene and also try by all means to locate the families of the learners that were injured. So at this stage, we are still, trying to talk to the parents. And the MEC has said we must make sure that we, provide all the necessary, support to the learners as well as, the parents. So at the right time, we are going to issue a statement just informing the people of KwaZulu-Natal of what really transpired.
And do you have any indication regarding the potential cause of what happened this afternoon? Was human error, for instance, to blame?
Couple of minutes ago, the MEC Sponsor Duma received a report from RTI indicating that the driver lost control and he actually collided with the tree. But I think what is important is to indicate that, on the 13th of January, the MEC inspected scholar transport, because we need to make a distinction. There's a scholar transport that is, provided by the Department of Education, working with the Department of Transport. There's also a private scholar transport. So the accident that we are talking about here, it involves a private scholar transport. So in this case, we are obviously expecting the, Santaco, the, scholar transport wing affiliated to Santaco, to also come in and, shed more light in terms of the overall management of the private scholar transport.
Is there a problem? Because in light of the tragic events in Vanderbijl Park today in the Val, where we saw 13 children killed after the driver of their minibus that was taking them to school is alleged to have tried to overtake multiple vehicles at a time, then collided head-on with the truck. The conversation has now shifted to safety of the scholar transport industry. I know there have been cases in KwaZulu-Natal reported even as recently as in the last year. Do we have a serious scholar transport safety problem in the country?
Well, I think it is a necessary conversation that, we must have as we move forward. And also the MEC has, indicated that, look, when we talk about scholar transport, it is a collective responsibility. The parents must also, play their role. If you look at the school governing bodies, they must come on board. Santaco, when we talk about the private scholar transport, we are happy that we're working with Ubaba Umbubu, who is responsible for the overall coordination of scholar transport. He's a leading member of scholar transport affiliated to Santaco. That aside, in terms of the scholar transport, which is contracted to the Department of Transport, we are obviously intensifying the overall inspection. On the 13th of January, the MEC was floating, conducting the inspection. If you look at the inspection which started a weekend, on a Friday leading up to the opening of school, 198 scholar transport fleet inspected, 63 failed, and they were totally removed from our road networks. 121 passed. So the MEC has said the public enforcement unit must continue to do the inspection, do all the roadblocks, so that we protect our future. If you talk about learners, these are our future leaders.
And the challenge, Ndebezinhle, am I right, with this inspection or trying to keep a handle, if you will, on safety standards for cars that are used to drive children? It's one thing for a vehicle to not be roadworthy, but if a driver is reckless, as we've been told was the case in at least one of the cases that we're reporting on tonight, that's a bit more difficult, am I right, for a department like yours to be able to oversee. But B, there's also the element, because of cost, etc., where other people with cars are now taking on the business of moving children from home to school and are sometimes not even registered with an association.
Yeah, that is where we need to pay more attention. It is for these reasons that the MEC mandated our acting head of the department, Smangubo, to work with the municipal managers, the public, transport unit within the Department of Transport, is coordinating that work, with the Santaco, the scholar transport in various municipalities. Started with Umsunduzi, where they are doing an audit of scholar transport, so that we have a sense of the type of vehicles that are being used, and obviously the owners must also be assessed, in terms of the suitability. And also, you talk here about the PRDP, because if you are responsible for the public transport, you need to have the necessary permits. We also talk about the Vehicle Testing Association, a private entity, where we are working out a framework so that we work with the private sector to deal with the overall issuing of fraudulent roadworthy certificates, because you find that there are roadworthy certificates that are given to operators of scholar transport in other provinces, and then they come into KwaZulu-Natal. You find them operating in the townships where there's less visibility of traffic officers. So it is for these reasons that the MEC Duma mandated the acting head Desmangubo to work with municipal managers, so that we have a sense of the scholar transport that is provided privately, and that the public enforcement unit, Operation Chanela, is also doing the enforcement. The road traffic inspectorate, the no-nonsense team that was visible throughout the festive season, they are hard at work cleaning up our road networks.
Ndaba ezinhle, SB, I've got to talk to you as always, spokesperson for the Transport Department in KwaZulu-Natal.